Hey, what's up you guys, it's your girl Gigi and welcome back to my channel where every week I'll be doing a review of the new HBO show Euphoria starring Zendaya. So let's get right into episode 4. This week, you guys, so much happened, but so much happens every week, so I don't know why I always start off every video by saying so much happened, because we already know what we're getting ourselves into. By the way, did you guys hear that this show got renewed for a season 2? Woo! I'm so excited because the show is honestly good, so like I'm so excited that it got renewed for season 2. Anyway, so this whole episode basically takes place at a town fair that comes every single year. So every single character that we have seen thus far is at this fair. So that means you already know drama, drama, drama. So let's get into Rue, Jules, and Rue's little sister, Gia. Rue and Jules basically make up as soon as they see each other at the fair, because Rue had a talk with that guy from AA, and he basically like reassured her that like her friendship with Jules is very important and like not to take it too personally if Jules doesn't feel that way about her, you know. So he reassures her, and that makes Rue feel comfortable enough to like kind of bring up the subject of the kiss, which as we all know I was super happy about last week. And yeah, they like make up, it's like super nice or whatever. Gia's there, Gia's like watching them make up, and she's like, I think Rue is in love with Jules. And Lexi, who's also there, is like, really? Like, I never saw it that way. And Gia's like, yeah, like definitely, which is like so funny because it proves that like it's so obvious to everyone but Rue like what her feelings are, and it just makes you think like, how long is it gonna take her to fully like realize like what's going on, you know what I mean? But it's like cute or whatever. So they make up, and then there's like a whole thing where Jules sees Nate's dad at the fair, because his dad makes this like special chili that every year wins the like #1 prize for the best chili or whatever. So she sees his dad and she's like, oh my god, Rue, like that's the guy, like that's the guy that I hooked up with in the hotel room. And Rue's like, I don't believe you. And Jules is like, I'm gonna prove it. And she like goes up to him and like asks for a bowl of chili, and like he's like so nervous, he's like shaking or whatever when he's giving it to her, and then it like spills over, and she's like, she turns to Rue and she's like, and then Rue's like, and then like at that same time both Nate and his dad both look at Rue, and then Rue's like, and like at that moment like it's so obvious that like Nate knows what's going on between Jules and his dad. Like it's never been explicitly said before, but at another point during the episode you see Nate's dad like going through his little like gross porn collection, and one of the CDs is missing, which means that Nate probably took it, which means that it's probably the one with Jules. So oh my god. So then after that whole encounter, Nate's dad like finds Jules and he's like, please don't tell anyone about this, it's gonna ruin my career, it's gonna ruin me in this town, like you don't understand, blah 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 blah. And Jules is basically like, I had no intention of telling anyone, so like whatever, you know what I mean? So then later that night she finally meets Shy Guy 118 aka Tyler aka freaking Nate, and it's literally so scary and like insane because he asks her to meet him like really late at night, like by like a lake or something, nowhere near the fair. And it's so heartbreaking because Jules is like so excited to see him, and when he shows up she's like, oh my god, it's you, like why would you do this, like I don't trust you, why would you ever do this? And Nate is like, he's honestly, I feel like a really complex character, because it's really hard to tell if he actually likes Jules in any way, or if all of this was kind of just a way to get back at her for hooking up with his dad. Because when he first starts talking to her, he's kind of just like, you become such a big part of my life, and like I wake up to you and I go to sleep to you, and like you're one of the closest people I have right now. And it's really weird because it seems very like almost like he's like pleading with her to be like, please like accept me like this, like there's a reason why I hid my identity or whatever. And Jules is just straight up like, I don't trust you, like I don't trust you at all. And then he's like, I don't trust you either. And she's like, why? And he basically does like a full like 180, and he's like, because I know that you've been hooking up with my dad, and you've been sending me tons of nudes and stuff that were taken on school property, and he basically just threatens her and is like, I will leak these or give these to the police and say that you were distributing child pornography if you say anything about my dad or if you continue to say anything about me or my family. And yeah, he basically just like gives her an ultimatum. So like, it kind of makes you think that he did this whole catfish thing in order to get back at her, obviously, because like this clearly was like well thought out. But at the same time, like, did he actually end up liking her while doing this, or did he like go into this not, like, I don't know, like he's like so complex. It's really hard to really read who he is as a person. Jules is like shook, obviously, because she already had no intention of doing anything with his dad ever again, but now it's just like, of course, like, you know, and like her life can be ruined in like a split second. And like, wow, like that scene was just so scary. Like, someone can really like take over your life like that, which is why it's so important, if you're a minor, do not take and send nude photos. Like, please just wait, like your life can get ruined. He basically was threatening to put her like on the sex offenders list and ruin her entire life. So please, please, if you're a minor, don't do anything like this. Like, your life can get ruined by some psychopath so quickly. Moving on, so Cassie and Maggie, is her name Maggie or is it Maddie? I feel like I've been saying Maggie the whole time, but I want to say it's Maddie, so I'm just gonna keep saying Maddie. So Cassie and Maggie are also both at this fair, obviously with their boyfriends. Cassie showed up with McKay, and they're in this like weird phase where they like are obviously together and they obviously really care for each other and even said that they love each other. But McKay isn't ready for that type of commitment, because when his friend asks if they're together, he tells his friend, oh no, like we're just chilling or whatever. And that obviously makes Cassie pissed, and she leaves and goes to hang out with Maddie. On Maddie's side, her and Nate get into a fight because she shows up to the fair in this like super sexy outfit, and like she was like supposed to meet his parents or something that night, and his parents already don't like her because they think she's a distraction for him. And Nate gets pissed because he's like, you cannot meet my parents dressed like this. I'll try to like insert a picture of what she was wearing because I can't really describe it, but yeah, so she gets mad because she's basically like, you don't own me. I'm not gonna do what you want me to do just because you say so. Because he's basically just like, you need to go home and change right now. And she's like, I don't give a f. So she doesn't. So her and Cassie basically like join forces because both their boyfriends are trash, and they decide to do Molly, which was like a bad idea, as doing drugs tends to be, because they both go crazy. So Maddie ends up like basically going off on Nate's dad. Like when he wins his like award for like best chili or whatever, she's like, he basically like, she like goes up to him and she's like, how dare you judge me? She doesn't give a and like she's like provoking him or whatever, and like she like knocks over like the chili thing and like storms off. And then on Cassie's side, she like goes and hangs out with this kid Daniel, and like I'm pretty sure this is the same Daniel that like Kat dated in middle school. They like go on like the carousel, and she's like really feeling it, like she's having a great time, but then she kind of gets like lost somehow like in the drug, and she basically starts like dry humping the horse that she's on. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable because like so many people are there and just like watching her, and like this is like a family environment, so it's like, Cassie, what are you doing? And then like, oh my god, you feel so bad for her because like when she realizes, like she's so embarrassed, like she like, you literally like pan over like all the people just like watching her as she's like going around this carousel, and all of them are like, what the is wrong with this chick? Like, oh my god, she's so embarrassed, like poor Cassie. Like, and then she just like runs away. But back to Maddie, she like storms off after the whole fight with Nate's dad, and Nate like follows her and like drags her into like this back corner and basically like puts his hand around her neck and is like, how dare you do that? And it's like so scary because like he's obviously so much bigger than her, so much stronger than her, and is clearly overpowering her. Despite how scared she is, she decides to kind of still just like confront him, and is just like, what's up with all those pictures that were on your phone? Like, what's going on with you? And Nate is clearly like very taken aback by it and like loosens up on her and like tries to explain himself, but like obviously can't, because how he's gonna tell his girlfriend that he was concocting this elaborate plan to catfish this girl because she was having sex with his dad? Like, oh my god, like so much. So like basically like the resolution of that, like I don't really think there is one. Like, but that whole scene was so scary because he's so violent and like aggressive and abusive, and Maddie clearly like doesn't know how to get out of this like abusive cycle. It honestly doesn't seem like this is the first time that he's like put a hand on her, because she kind of dealt with it very well. But we do see that when she goes home that she has like all these bruises on her neck from when he like put his hand around her, and she starts crying because like, of course, like how do you deal with that? You know what I mean? She's a teenage girl. I hate Nate so much. I hate him. I hate Nate. Ugh! I hate him. Ugh! So moving away from that psychopath Nate and back to one of my favorite characters, Kat. Kat is clearly going through like a moment of transformation right now. She has this whole new wardrobe, this whole new attitude because she's making money and stuff, but you could tell that this is still just all like a mask that she's using to hide her inner insecurities, because she's at the fair with Ethan and she's having a great time or whatever, but then she like sees him talking to some random girl and like jumps to conclusions about them like right away and gets very upset, runs off and ends up hooking up with this like super gross guy that like used to go to their high school like years ago, and they don't use protection or anything, it doesn't seem like, and she's just being reckless. A part of me is like, okay, like she's exploring her sexuality, like that's so great, but like she's not being safe about it, and that really scares me, you know. And like this guy that she hooked up with knew she was 16 years old and still decided to do it. So like it's so disgusting. Like she's like, I see what she's trying to do, but the way she's going about it is very concerning, and I really need somebody to intervene and to help her. Like, where are her friends? Like, isn't she friends with Maddie and Cassie? How do they have no idea what's going on with her? Like, she literally has a completely different look. She's acting like a different person. Like, clearly something's not okay with her. And I'm just worried that she's gonna get herself mixed into something really bad. Like, I hope she doesn't get pregnant or like catch like an STI or something, because like I said, I don't think they use protection. So Kat, please, I'm so worried about her. So going back to Rue and to Jules and Gia, Rue and Jules are off doing their own thing, and Gia is hanging out with McKay's little brothers. I don't know their names, but they're like the twins, and they're just being hooligans. Like, they're like smoking weed in the back of a truck or whatever, and Rue starts going crazy because she cannot find Gia anywhere, and she's supposed to get her home before 10. When she finally finds her, she finds her with these boys and tries to convince her to come home, and Gia's kind of like, I don't want to. The boys are kind of like, Rue, like, what's your problem? Why are you acting like her mom? Basically start like coming at her and being like, you used to be so cool, it's because you overdosed that you're not cool anymore, just like coming at her neck or whatever. And Gia doesn't say anything. Rue doesn't really say anything either, because I guess she's like trying to be the bigger person. I thought that was so disrespectful, and like, how dare those little boys. Those boys are bad news. Literally every single scene they're in is like, they're just bad news. Like, I don't, like, really the only point in their characters is to stir shit up. Like, they stirred shit up with Kat, now they're stirring shit up with Gia and with Rue. I just do not like them. But yeah, finally Rue ends up bringing Gia home, and they're cool or anything, but I just really don't understand how Gia just like sat there and let those two morons like talk so much shit about her sister. Like, she needs to reevaluate that, like 100%. But it's just a little concerning, because obviously weed's not a gateway drug or anything, but all you need is that little bit of like willingness to experiment in order to like get into like harder stuff. And like, I'm just hoping that having seen her sister go through what she went through, that like she doesn't take it far. So yeah, I feel like that's basically everything that happened in this episode. I'm trying to think, did I forget anything? I don't think so. I feel like there must have been like a cliffhanger at the end that I'm just like not thinking of. But yeah, that's basically episode 4. This show got renewed for season 2, and I'm so excited and happy. I cannot wait to see what comes for the rest of the season, and of course season 2. If you're enjoying these weekly reviews, thank you so much. Give it a big thumbs up. As always, leave a sun emoji in the comments if you made it this far. And yeah, please check out my other videos. I just recently turned 22, so I made a video called 22 things I learned at 22. I'll like put it somewhere over here. I also did a little get ready with me for my 22nd birthday, so if you'd also like to see that, I'll put both of those videos right here. So yes, once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.